recorded video to all of us. It is very helpful training.
We will try, sir. Yeah, thank you.
So next, provisions all I hope all of you are doing it. So there are various returns you have to file under GST. There's GSTR1 which you have to file on a monthly 11th, and there are quarterly return for small suppliers. 3B returns monthly where you have to pay tax, and then TDS, GSTR7. This may not be applicable to you. This may be applicable to some of the units like government Bank of Baroda or government organization in a gift city. So any government organization, they have to deduct TDS under GST also. So if you are providing any service to suppose Bank of Baroda in gift city, then they will deduct GST TDS also on our payment. TCS is for e-commerce operator, and GSTR 99C is our annual return which you have to file. It's now it's time to file annual return of 21-22. So last date is 31st December. And GSTR 10 is final return. If you cancel your GST registration, you have to file GSTR 10 also. Next slide. So many times we get question, miss, if we sell any goods to DTA, whether we have to disclose the same in GSTR1 or not. So if we sell any goods to DTA unit, it will go through bill of entry route. If it is gone through bill of entry, it will be treated as import transaction for DTA buyer, and he will take input credit under the category of import. So we don't have to require to report to under GSTR1 or 3B, and we don't have to issue tax invoice also for it. We have to issue normal commercial invoice only because there is no tax requirement to pay on SEZ unit for DTA supply. Although practically we pay taxes, we file bill of entry, but all these transactions are done on behalf of DTA supplier because they do not have account with NSDL or SEZ online for reporting purpose. So that all these activity are done by SEZ unit on behalf of DTA importer. So you, but if your supply to DTA is without bill of entry, then we have to report in GSTR1 and 3B and pay tax also. On service supply to DTA, you have to report normal transaction in GSTR1 and 3B, and you have to charge IGST also on service supply. Next slide. GST refund. So there is a provision in GST that supplier can claim the refund. So which we have discussed that the two options, one supply and the LUT or refund, and even exporter can also claim the refund. Since SEZ unit also doing export, they can also claim refund, but unfortunately, GST people are not taking favorably claim the refund claim of SEZ units. They are denying it, and people have to go to court. There are few provision. One is the few favorable court case. One is from Gujarat itself. First case was for Britannia. Next slide, Prakash. So they were taken. So they were getting some common input credit from head office, and this department disallow ICD credit, corporate HO credit, and department disallow their refund claim. Then the High Court has allowed the claim, and there one case in Tamil Nadu, just in Tamil Nadu also from High Court. So you may, if you have big amount, you can try, you can go to court, you can file refund and fight for court case through court also if they reject it. If you have small amount, you can wait for some more time because government should come out with provision for refund for SEZ unit also. Although law does not restrict, but it's an officer mindset. They are not giving it. And whenever the government asks any representation, like now in budget also, government will ask representation, whatever your issue, you should give this representation. All of you can write to EPCS through developer that government should come out with clarification. We should get refund, whatever we pay on procurement, because sometimes supplier does not supply on LUT. So you can give your representation through developer, through EPCS to government. Next slide. Sometimes you get goods and which are defective, so then you have to make return. You have to return these goods. So then question is whether you have to pay GST on at the time of return or not. So there are two routes of returning goods. One route can be you file bill of entry for return of goods, and then you need you can go through bill of entry route also. You don't have to pay tax because saying simply say you are returning the goods. Even if officer insists that you have to pay, then your TTA supplier can take input, but you should say it's you are returning the good. You should produce the original document and should not pay the tax. Second option is if you say you have to pay tax, then you say I will not file that bill of entry. I will prepare normal tax invoice. And normal tax invoice, you can charge the GST and your to whom you are returning, he can take input credit and you can use your input credit. Because it's a normal GST R1 and 3B transaction. When at the time of return of goods, you can use your input credit balance on this invoice. You can issue tax invoice. If it is not a bill of entry route, you can use input credit and you can claim that amount from your supplier who is taking input credit at the time of return. Next. So we have discussed these provisions specific to GST SEZ units. And if you have any question, we can this now open to all.
Sir, can I ask one question?
Yes, please.
So again, coming back to registration, you said that the registration is mandatory for all the SEZ units who are in the IFSC.
It's separate for all SEZ units separate. Suppose even you have one SEZ unit in IFC, one maybe in other SEZ also, you have to take separate registration for each
But
unit.
if I don't have any unit, I only have one unit in IFSC and no other business, then?
Yeah, still you have to take registration.
But under which section, sir? Because section 22 and 24 both says that like if I'm dealing in a non-taxable activity, then I'm not supposed to take registration. Then under which section, if I'm a broker, if I'm a person who is...
But you are a broker, you are doing interstate supply.
No, I'm not a broker. I am just doing an security transactions.
But you will...
Yeah, go ahead.
But how will you do transaction? You have to avail service, you have to provide some services.
Correct. So basically, I'm taking the funds. I'm an FA agent and I'm bringing the fund from outside India and I'm investing in India.
But you are providing service to customer outside India.
Correct.
So means still you are doing interstate supply. Means you are recovering the consideration from them.
Correct.
From customer overseas, whether you are covered under export or not, first you have to see section 2 definition of export. Whether your place of supply is in India. In case of intermediary, your place of supply in India, then it is a taxable supply. It is not exempted.
It is an exempted supply because all the customers are sitting outside India.
But where it is written it is exempted? Under which provision?
Okay, so it is a zero rated, which it is otherwise.
Zero rated will be
under section 16.
No, I don't say it is maybe zero. It may be taxable also, because if your place of supply is in India, you may have to pay 18% C plus S. So in case of intermediary, place of supply, the location of service provider. First, you have to see whether you are intermediary or not. And you may require to pay 18% tax also.
Correct. And now suppose I am just an unit who is being established in IFSC, and sir, I'm sorry, I'm very sorry. Somebody else can continue. I have some important. I will come back.
Sir.
Yes.
Sir, Navita from Viman again. Sir, can you just clarify again that SEZ to DTA and DTA to SEZ transaction, how to raise invoice and currency wise, commercial or tax invoice?
Miss, DT to SEZ is a normal transaction. Only thing is you can take it on LUT without GST. And SEZ to DTA depend upon whether it's a goods or service. If it is service, you have to issue two invoice. One is foreign currency for commercial invoice. Second is an INR tax invoice. If it is for goods, then you have to see whether goods are going with the bill of entity route, without bill of entity route. If without bill of
Okay.
entity route, you can raise normal tax invoice, report in normally in 1 and 3B IGST transaction with payment of tax. And if it is on bill of entity route, then you have to pay tax through SEZ online portal through NSDL. And your buyer will take credit under import. You don't have to report in return.
Okay. And SEZ to SEZ only this final currency, normal.
Yeah, normal under LUT. If it is
Under
within
LUT.
same as if it again it depend upon goods or service. If it is for goods, one is if within same SEZ, no bill of entity, the SEZ it will go through bill of entity.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. So Prakash,
Sir,
we can say this contact number. We provide services to many SEZ units or customer. Even we have provided service to Export Promotion Council. So we help we provide advisory service to SEZ units and developer on GST and SEZ provisions also. You can note down if you need our services. Then we can discuss in details for a specific provision to units. You can contact us. You can note down my number.
Sir, one last question.
Yeah.
If I'm an unit in IFSC and dealing in security business, still I'm required to take registration?
Sir, I'll answer the question if you don't mind, sir. As per Section 25 of CGST Act, which deals with registration, it says that any SEZ unit, a person having a unit in special economic zone or being a special economic zone developer shall have to apply a separate registration. So, Section 25(1) of CGST Act.
Correct. So that is the only for the procedure for registration.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
Section 22, 23, and 24 nowhere says that this is required. 25 is applicable only when 22 and 24 is applicable.
But where do you get exemption? It's your supply is taxable.
No, my supply is not taxable. I'm just
Where,
dealing with
but
my income is
again we discuss this. There is a slide which we discussed. We told exempted supply and taxable rated is different.
Supply
I hope
to
you have noted my slide.
or
Exempted supply from SEZ or supply to SEZ is not exempted supply. So you are not getting that exemption benefit of Section 22 or 20.
Sir, I am trading into derivatives basically.
Yeah, but where it is exempted?
So my entire
under which section? Where it is exempted?
so under which section it is exempted?
Sir, completely entire security transactions are not even purview of GST.
Where it is written?
Under which section?
Sir, I will give you entire. Sir, that is why we are not able to claim ITC on the brokerages.
No, ITC is different
75.
issue. ITC is different issue. First we are coming taxability. We don't. First we conclude.
So basically, securities. So okay, I will tell you. Security is not forming part of neither goods or nor services.
Only listed security. This security definition is there. Not all security.
Correct. So
not all security. What you are providing is various security and brokerage. And if you deal in security, then only it is exempt. Not good source. But if you are providing service as intermediary, you are not dealing with security.
So now I'm talking about the second case, in which I am just dealing into a listed securities.
Means you are dealing on your behalf or means your client behalf?
On
then
your
it's a different.
Own.
Yes. Then means you have to refer Schedule 3 to comply that condition. But if you are dealing on behalf of client, then it's you are intermediary.
I agree. That is a different thing. I totally agree.
Because if you are buying on selling on, then you are using your own funds. Then it's not your business here.
Correct. So I'm just
business.
Correct. So still, am I required to take registration in that situation?
Means you have to refer your LOA. LOA means what purpose you came to get SEZ. Buying and selling. I hope they will not give an LOA. Just someone want to come only buy and sell security.
So we are running short on the time. Just Jignesh to take your contact number. You can drop down your mobile number in the chat box. There are other questions also in the chat box.
I have posted my number in email ID in chat box.
Fine.
Definitely will come back.
So we can have a second session also because I am running. We have another meeting after this. So we can have a second session of this. Thank you so much all for joining this session. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Yeah.
So we end the session over here. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
बोला है ना ये फर्स्ट सेशन सेकंड सेशन है.
Thank you.
Thank you all for joining. Please log off.